here is a really nice spring stamp set. This is by Stampendous. It's called Hello Butterfly. We're stocking these in the store for this summer because I think you might want to use this just like I have enjoyed using it so far. So here is a few different ways, and I'd just like to show you a few different cards that you can make using this same stamp set. You can get a lot of use out of this. And it's even got some sentiments in there. So here's one card. This is on a video on the YouTube channel for Scrap and Bean. This is using these flowers here on this, obviously. Plus, I stamped it a few times with just the top flower or a couple of flowers onto top of the background pattern paper. Some of the butterflies stamped onto the background pattern paper, and then this one here featured. So if you want to see how that was done, you can watch our video on that. Or you can just tell from this roughly how it's done. The other thing I'm going to do is just a strictly butterfly card. So none of the flowers, which is kind of hard to resist because I do like those little flowers. But here we go with some coloring. Now you can color these with whatever you have. I am using the Polychromo pencils today because I like them. But I do enjoy coloring. I also love my Copics. So whatever you like, markers or pencils. And we'll just speed this up as we go through a couple butterflies, and then I will show you what I'm going to make for how I'm going to use them in a card. Okay, so now I have all these little bright little butterflies all colored and cut out, and I want to make them into my card. And I'm just using the sentiment right off of that stamp set that says "Have a happy day." And I think I'll put that right about here. It's a very small sentiment for the size of the card, but that gives me a lot of room to put butterflies around there. So the other thing I was going to do is just add a little bit of something to this plain white background. So I'm going to bring in my Score Pal here. And I'm just going to put some lines down here. Now this is 4 1/4. Okay, I better first cut my card down to the size it's going to be, or I'll just have it cover my whole front. Okay, I just got to make up my mind here. So I'm going to do 1/4 inch from the edge, and then maybe an 1/8 inch from that. So I'll just do 1/4 inch from this edge, and another 1/8 inch. This is just going to give it some lines. That's basically giving it some texture, but it's just adding a little bit of something. And do that all the way around here. Did I do this edge? Not. That was my first edge, but I didn't do it deep enough, I guess. There, so that just gives it a little bit of something. May not even show up on the camera, but it does show up in person. I've got a bit of something there. You could also do some kind of an embossing folder with a background too. Do I have a card base I can put this onto? Should have done this while I had this out. Score a card base for this. So this is going to be 4 1/4. There we go. Card base done. And then I'm going to set this on top of there. And put these butterflies on top of that. And I will use there we go. Some adhesive on there. I used to find when I had gel nails that this came up so easy. Now that I've stopped doing that, it's a little bit harder to get it up. Okay, I'll just line that up by putting the flat edge down, and there we've got our card base on there. And how am I going to scatter these butterflies? I just want them kind of flying. Might have too many, but we'll see how that works out. I haven't got a purple one on there yet. Something like that. There, just a line of butterflies going. But I do want to ink the edges of these butterflies. I'm going to take out some black ink. And what this does is just where the core of the paper is white, it's going to cover that up. And also, if I have not done a perfect job of fussy cutting, and so I haven't actually gone right up to that black line, it's going to hide that. So you could do it with a dauber like this, or the other thing you can do, and it might be even easier when it's kind of this small image, is to use a marker. I like these zig markers for all sorts of things with scrapbooking. It's got two ends on it. I'll maybe use the thicker end. You could even darken the bodies of those. Well, that one I've pretty much gone around the edge already. But we can just go like this with the side of the marker. And that's just covering up any, so maybe we can zoom in. So you see how there's the black stamp line and then there's a little bit of white where I didn't cut right down to the black line. This just gets rid of that white. There we go. Now you can't tell that my cutting was not perfect. Not that it needs to be perfect, but it just helps to neaten that up. There. And now we would be ready to glue these down. Wow, I can't get them to fit. I can't get them all to fit back on there again. There, something like that. It just looks like it's full of butterflies, and I like that look. So I am now going to pull out my scrap dots. And I do want like a little bit of lift on each of their wings so that they're not flat. And that's how I'm going to accomplish that, is with this scrap dots. Put a generous amount of that on there. And hold that body down. But I'm not pressing on the wings, just pressing on the body so that that liquid glue makes contact, and I want the rest of the wings to stand up. Is that glue coming out? I'm not squeezing. I don't want much on there, but this I want to be very generous with. And then I'm just using this. I could use something else, like maybe a pencil, to just poke down on the body. Okay. And I'm just continuing that same process with all these butterflies. And just press down on the body so it makes contact. And here's one thing I think I should be doing as I go along, because I wanted to redraw their little antennas into there. So maybe I can take this fine tip and just draw an antenna. There we go. I think that's easier before I put the next layer down. And if the next butterfly covers that antenna, that's okay. So liquid glue on the body, scrap dots under the wings, and then I just hold that body, press that body down to make sure it's making contact, and the wings I'm just leaving up. Glue that body. Scrap, oh, I should bend that up a little bit. Scrap dots on the wings. Have these overlapping that way. I think if you did this butterfly theme and in the right colors, maybe not quite so vivid, but more pastel colors, this would make, this could be a sympathy card as well, I think. But I wouldn't do it with quite such vivid colors. These colors are nice for just celebrating spring. Oh, aren't you just looking forward to all the colorful flowers that will be coming out? Now, where are we going to put this one? Okay, this guy's obviously, I'm not putting it in an envelope because I've got him right off the card. Or I'd have to put him into a bigger envelope. That would work too. And then just the antennas on this last one. And I'm going to call that done. So there's our nice spring butterflies. You can see lots of dimension on there. The wings are, lots of them are standing up. So that just gives you another idea of what you can do with this Hello Spring stamp set. So there's 2 cards using that. And many, many more ideas of what you can do. And actually, I think these little gems, I'm going to use them on here too, seeing as I have them sitting out on my craft desk.